Hi, Nancy. Can you hear
Hi,
me?
how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Looks like we're alone in this meeting here.
I'm going to stop the recording. It's automatically recording since the meeting hasn't started yet. I'm going to stop the recording for now.
Thank you.
Right, but I would like to have, do I have a quorum? Yeah,
What do you need?
I'm sorry,
What do you need?
a quorum, let's see, we're 8, I think 5 should do it. Anyone else on this call?
Austin is here.
1, 2, 3. Well, yeah, it's Austin, Lynn, Nancy, Ellen, and Paul.
Oh, yeah,
No,
so
Ellen Goldberg.
we're 5.
Yeah, we're 5.
We're 5 out of 8. Does that work, Tony?
Yes, it does.
Okay, good, great.
Where did Austin go?
I'm
Mr.
here. My
Thanks,
video is not
Yeah.
working for
Oh,
some.
okay.
And my screen is very fuzzy and I'm liking that.
Who's 9682? Is that Tony?
Tony.
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 Okay.
That's me.
Oh, good, Ann can come to the meeting, Ann Spurn, she can come.
Yeah, that's just what she wants
I'm
to
just
do.
delivering dinner.
That's just what she wants to do, Lynn.
I know. Well, I'm going to get off this one and jump into the FinCom, so it's going to be a double header tonight.
Lucky you.
With that, let's call this meeting to order and start the recording, Ellen.
It's done.
Okay. So this is Lynn Spencer, Chairman of Community Preservation, the Community Preservation Committee. Joining me tonight, starting at the top, Nancy,
Nancy Quintomo, representing Open Space and Recreation.
Paul Spurn at large.
Ellen Goldberg at large.
Austin Antrim at large.
all right, there we go. So we are a quorum and we will proceed. I will read the governor's order. Pursuant to Governor Baker's March 12th, 2020 order suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law, general law, Chapter 30A, Section 18, and the governor's March 15th, 2020 order imposing strict limitations on the number of people that may gather in one place. This meeting of the Community Preservation Committee is being conducted via remote participation. No in-person attendance of the members will be permitted, but every effort will be made to ensure that the public can adequately access the proceedings as provided for in the order. A reminder that persons who would like to listen or view this meeting while in progress may do so by accessing the Zoom link on the town's website. So with that, let us proceed. When we last met on Monday, I thought, oh, we won't be needing another meeting. But there's always the last minute run up to the town warrant. And so that is the purpose of our meeting tonight, is to review some changes subsequent to what we looked at on Monday. Has everyone had a chance to at least glance at what was forwarded this afternoon?
Nope.
Yes.
I'm sorry, I was out of mindset for CPC. I took it seriously that we were done, so I apologize to you. I just found out about it.
Oh, I sent an email yesterday, just the cheerful, anyway. So and I do apologize because I have a barking dog and I need to actually. So Ken Carangelo has joined our meeting, I see. So first I'd like to have you look at the community preservation report. Ellen, can you put that up on the screen, please?
Yep. So let's see. Is that okay. So I got 3 emails from Tony. I'm sorry, 3 attachments from Tony. One was a comparison borrowing. The other is the articles. Is that the one you mean?
Right. It's the one that says Community Preservation Report, Spring 2022. And I think that has to be changed to 2021.
Okay. So did you send that? Because Tony didn't send that one.
I did. I forwarded the 3.
Okay. So that's a different one that I was expecting. So hang on, let me get it.
Okay.
That was sent a little before 5 o'clock, I see,
That's
right? Okay, hang on. Give me, okay, so CPC article. So you sent the
There's 3 attachments on.
Yes, 3 attachments, but they weren't, one is called a comparison of CPC borrowing, the other is CPC articles, and the other is FY22 annual town meeting warrant final draft. So which one do you want?
I'm just going to look it up right now so I can give you the right. Actually, just put the first one up that you can get.
Comparison of the bonds? The borrowing? Lynn?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Give me a sec. And will I be needing to do any edits on this, or am I just showing it?
You're just showing it.
Okay. Here we are.
Okay, so this is the core the core the core change to what we saw on Monday is in this article.
I'm gonna show the track changes, I think, so that you all can see what was done.
Yeah.
Track change, I'm sorry, I don't want to track code. Well, let's say all markup. There we go. Is that helpful?
Yep.
Okay,
everyone
and somebody
see
is.
that?
I'm sorry, somebody is, oh, so Ken is logging off. He has FinCom, so he said he'll watch the video later. Have a pleasant evening.
Okay, well, that's nice.
Okay.
So this is, you know, you can see what has been actually edited and added to in this document. This was done in consultation with Jeff Blake, our town council. Rather than reading it to you, let's just take a moment to have each person.
I'm sorry, Lynn, I don't understand the context. What is this an amendment to?
Sorry, Paul, maybe you weren't paying enough attention.
Well, try me again.
Okay, this is an
Want me to-
edited version of Article V from our community preservation recommendations. So this is the eminent domain article. And so what you're looking at on the screen are edits that have been made by town council and additions that have been made by town council Jeff Blake, subsequent to what we looked at on Monday night. And the reason we're meeting tonight is that we need to memorialize our acceptance of this because this will be what is going into the town warrant.
So explain to me why, if this recommendation was made last year to FinCom, why these changes are being made now.
These are not changes being made by FinCom, Paul. They're changes being made.
I understand that. They're being made by the Board of Selectmen at the
They're being
request of town
made-
council.
Yes, they're being made by the Board of Selectmen at the request of town council, and that's all I can say about it.
But why weren't they made last year?
I
When they would
can't
be,
answer that because I'm not town council or the Board of Selectmen.
okay, fine. All right, so this is a surprise.
So I won't speculate. I simply am passing along what has been passed along to me.
Okay.
And
Would
I
you
think
like me to
key
jump
part-
in?
The key part, sure, but I think the key part of what is being added here has to do with the borrowing article mechanism. And that's the last paragraph. And Tony, please, happy to have you jump in here.
All right, thank you. So with council's review, as you mentioned, there are a couple items in there that, you know, we added in, and some of that is because of the recent conversations that have occurred since last year about what the intent is and how to create or write this article so that it encompasses that. The first change you'll see there is description of the property. which is fairly simple, right? That's just taking the assessor's map and book parcel ID information. The second part is you have to write in the article the purposes of the taking. So you'll see there that we included some language about conservation, historic, access easement, and open space, I think. I'm not looking at it, so I'm on my phone. So.
I will just jump in here and say we had for conservation purposes, and what has been added are the phrase open space, recreation, and/or historic preservation, in addition to conservation purposes.
So I want to make it clear that is not a representation of like a change of the intent of the taking. It's a recommendation of council that the article should be more broad. Ultimately, the motion will be more specific, and the intent of the selectmen is still a conservation easement and an access easement for Canoe Beach, so that the townspeople can still use the beach. So it's just a matter of legal, saying that you should include all of these items as purposes.
So, and just to point out, our article had not had the specific reference to the assessor's map and so on. We were waiting that information from the Board of Selectmen. So now has been included in this. So further comments, as we read down here, we see that this taking is subject to two important conditions. The first one is the vote of the town to acquire the above mentioned property. So what has been deleted here is a later vote of the town, because in fact, the vote is subsequent to this motion.
The vote will be subsequent to this motion.
Yes, we will later look at the next attachment, Paul, which is in fact the town warrant. Our articles are under Article 21. The actual action enabling the Board of Selectmen to proceed with the taking is Article 22.
Essentially, legal just said it wasn't necessary to say the word later.
Right.
And then the next part, the language at the bottom came from bond counsel, which is essentially just like, I call it legal jargon related to the process that you bond or borrow under CPC. I can't, I don't know why it wasn't, I'm not sure if we never got to bond counsel because we ended up taking it out of the warrant last year. So I'm not sure why now versus last year, but that's just legal recommendation as to the process of how we borrow under CPC.
Well, I have to say that this was reviewed by council last year, including bond counsel. But I'm glad that they have now put forth this language, and that this language is very consistent, by the way, with the language that we have for the borrowing article under our Article E for the $500,000 bond this year. So it's kind of standard language for bonds. Okay. So we can look at this again when we look at this in the context of our entire Article 21.
Where would you like to go next?
The entire Article 21, which is the Community Preservation Report.
Oh, that's not the file name. That's the title of inside the document.
I don't know.
Yeah, I got it.
Got it?
Yep. I'm opening it now. I paused my screen for a second, so you're not subject to my
We,
looking around.
when the
for it.
board of selectmen approve the warrant, they don't include your supporting statements. In the article you guys, in the report you had sent us, included your supporting statements. So what I did was sent to you the warrant, accepting your changes and then track changing the changes that occurred after that. The biggest one was the bond count, was the borrowing. The other ones were the library bond payment. Accounting told us it was $50-something thousand. So we made that edit. That's the amount that's due this year. And then lastly, you guys had changed the Dory Club number to 13,000, but at the time of the change, it wasn't confirmed. So we left it 17, better to be high than low.
Right. Right. We left our meeting on Monday with Austin checking on it, but as I hadn't received the confirmation, I just thought it was safer to be 17.
So is that the way it stands now?
Yes. So actually, Ellen, we need to change spring 2022, spring 2021 up at the top. I knew there was one of those days that had to change. So again, do you want to show the track changes here, Ellen?
Sorry, I was muted. Yes, I've already done that.
Okay, great. So let's just sort of.
You'll also see in your report, in one of your supporting statements, I didn't want you guys to lose track of it. So I highlighted a couple question marks that you had left in your supporting statement.
I see that.
You'll see
Thank
that.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's me. So do you just want to gently scroll through here and let it pause so people could just see these as we roll through?
Sure, you want to see if there, I think maybe the thing is just take a look and see if you see any changes,
Let's start
Right.
with that, sure.
because we've already approved all of these.
We
So
have-
unless there are changes, there's no reason to review.
I agree.
Oh, yeah.
So,
There's a question mark that I have to look up and fill in. Thank you. Oops.
What fiscal, I didn't know what fiscal year that was.
I know, I think it's fiscal year 2019, but I've got to double check.
so I'm leaving that for you, Lynn.
Oh, thank you, Ellen.
Okay,
And yes, here's the change and the actual cost of the bond for the $400,000 library bond. So
so it's 55,200 this year, not 73,1.
yep. And I
Okay,
have to change the supporting statement accordingly. I thought I had done that in one of these, but
yeah. So you want me to highlight that for you?
yes, thank you. That'd be great. Okay. All right. I mean,
17,000 for
this
them.
is the time for the Dory Club if we want. So Tony, tell me what happens. It's already been in front of the Board of Selectmen, so we really can't change this, can we?
That's right. But, you know, like in years before, if you end up spending less than authorized, you guys can always bring it back to the committee, you know, at the next town meeting.
Yeah.
You mean bring it back? We split it.
However you guys claw back unspent appropriation, you can do that. That's why we said, let's keep it bigger than lower.
Is that responding to your question, Paul, or?
Yeah, no, that was facetious. Next point.
Just wanted to check. All right, and there we get to the,
So this is this is what we just reviewed.
it
And
is,
it's removed and it's change. So was the supporting statement in that other document?
Remember, the warrant doesn't include
Oh,
support.
right. But this is not the warrant. This is the report.
Right. This will go into the final document. So how is this working, Tony? Because
You had supporting statements for the others.
I know, just, just keep going.
All
Tony,
right.
how is this working? Because this should be the one that's substituted for the one we just reviewed.
I'm not looking at it. Say it again. So your supporting statements,
It's been moved to the
will
last
event-
one. So just keep, sorry to interrupt, Tony. I now see. Just
oh,
keep moving.
are you talking about moving? Yeah, we moved, I'm
You
sorry.
Oh, right.
We
I get it now.
moved- That was the other change we made. We moved the borrowing article down to the bottom. So this way, the borrowing and the authorization are literally back to back.
And will our supporting statement, can you scroll down, Ellen? Our supporting statement does occur here.
Okay, thank you. And no changes were made to the supporting statement, only the bond, which we just reviewed.
Right.
Okay. Nothing else. Those are minor changes. You want me to save this and send it to you?
Please do.
All right. Let me just do that now.
Okay.
Okay.
And
And then
then
there's one more doc.
the one more document is the town warrant.
Yep. There we are.
Okay, so if we scroll down to page 4, you can see we've got a lot of housekeeping work to do, important work that FinCom is involved with. And yes, what happens, and I think I just want to highlight this, if you can go back a little bit to Article 20. The Coast Guard housing recommendations precede Article 21 and 22. So this will be an important discussion. Tony, I don't know if you want to say anything about this article and its placement in the warrant.
What's the question? What do you want me to?
I said, I don't know if you have any comment about this article and its placement in the warrant.
It was originally later in the warrant. FinCom asked to move it up. Board of Selectmen agreed to that. So it was at the request of the FinCom to move it up in the warrant, but it's been that way for a little bit now. That wasn't a recent change.
This is going to be likely a subject of considerable discussion. So then next we go on to our articles, Article 21, which has a number of pieces and parts. And this is just a recap of our recommendations, excluding for this purpose the supporting statements. When it actually goes into the town warrant, the supporting statements will be included, the published warrant. Okay, do you want to just keep scrolling down there, Ellen?
Tony, I have a question. Is there anywhere, and is it relevant or important to at least point out to the voters that this is essentially 2 years worth of recommendations? Because upon first read, it would seem like a lot without knowing it's 2 years.
Well, they're broken up as FY 21 and 22.
Okay,
So I think as we make the introduction in the beginning, Ellen, I think that's a very good point. We need to make sure that people are aware of that, but it is in the text.
yeah, I see that. I didn't notice it. And I, if I were a little bit less aware, I might not recognize what that means.
Mhm.
That's all.
So we're gonna
I
have-
think it's something you could say, like Lynn
Yeah.
was saying, when you guys first get up, you could explain that.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay.
yeah.
And, in
That's
all
all.
truth, we'll want to be fairly rapid on these articles.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we want to give people the opportunity to make comments on them, but I think I've seen with FinCom in the past that they can be very organized and will want to sort of push through the more straightforward articles.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. I'm just in the interest of not, in the interest of just making sure people understand that it's a lot, but it's 2 years worth of projects.
Yep. And if you're talking with people in the community as they get their warrant and they're looking at this, make that
Yeah.
point.
Should I keep scrolling here?
Please do. So then we get to these little housekeeping clawbacks. Putting money back into the pool, including that annoying 41 cents. And then we're going to get to the big story, which is Article V, the capacity, the borrowing for the eminent domain. So,
Nope.
so there's two parts to the action on this. One is this enables the borrowing to take place subject to two conditions. One is the vote of the town to acquire the property, and the other one is the $3 million and basically funds to add to the 1.5 to form the $4.5 million that is being budgeted for both the acquisition as well as the legal fees associated with this taking. And then if we move on to the next article, that's Article 22, which is the vote that authorizes the Board of Selectmen to proceed. That's authorizing the first of the two conditions that I just mentioned. So there we are. So I think our business here tonight is to review the changes, to review and discuss the changes that have been made to our recommendations, notably the emendations to Article V, the borrowing article, as well as the correction of the amount of the $400,000 library bond. So those are the two biggies. And I have to fill in those question marks. So I'm looking for a motion.
Lynn, this is Austin. I'll make a motion to accept the changes as we've seen them here.
Thank you, Austin. A second?
I second Nancy Cantelmo.
Great. And could I have, this is a time for further discussion. So with that, let's do a roll call vote. All those in favor? Nancy,
Yes.
Ellen,
Yes, I. Mhm.
Paul,
Yes.
Mariana,
Am I muted again? Yes.
thank you. Glad you could join us, Mariana. Austin,
Yes.
Lynn Spencer, yes. So folks, with that, I thank you for, this meeting tonight. I'll next be going into FinCom for further discussion with that group. And we'll just be wrapping up these final edits and get it into production for the printing of the town warrant.
Great, Lynn, I'm gonna email that document to you now.
Great, thank you, Ellen. We will
Welcome.
need to meet before town meeting to actually, once we get the script from the FinCom and sort of work out who is speaking, we will need to have a session before town meeting to organize all that, so. With that, could I have a motion to end the meeting?
I'll make that motion.
Moved.
So moved. That was it. There's a race for that.
Yes, there is.
All in favor?
Aye.
Just say
Aye.
yes. All right, aye. Marvelous. Tony, I want to thank you very much for being on the call and for the work that you did with the Board of Selectmen and Town Council to make this work. So thank you.
Thank you guys. Listen, that's my job. You guys are the volunteers. Another great year, another great job by you guys. Look forward to town meeting and appreciate all your work.
I look forward to town meeting too. You're going to arrange the weather, right, Tony?
I got a tent twice the size of the one we had last year, so hopefully we'll be good.
Folks, you may need to budget both days for this because there is a possibility that it will go into Sunday. So please keep that in mind.
Yeah, we are.
What is the date again?
May 15th
And 16.
and now 16th. Don't get that look on your face, Ellen Goldberg.
Yeah, the look on my face is that may be the weekend I have to pick up my son from college. I don't know yet. I'm trying to find out.
Oh, boy. Okay.
So we'll see.
You need your vote at town meeting and
I know. Well, sometimes these things go on quite a long time, so maybe I'll be able to drive there and back and still vote.
Is he of voting age, by the way?
He is actually.
Good. Make sure you get him.
He is. Yes, exactly. I need to retrieve the boy.
Where is
So,
he?
He's in Vermont.
Oh, that's nothing. Leave it back in the morning. In Burlington?
Yes.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, he's at University of Vermont.
Well, that's great. So, all right. Well, thank you all.
Thank you, Lynn.
Okay.
Thanks for doing it. Thanks for, as you say, stepping one more time into the breach. Lynn.
Oh, one more time into the breach. But remember, he did actually capture the town, so it's okay.
Right.
All right, folks.
All right, you guys.
All right.
Thanks.
Good night.
Bye.
All right.